You're listening to the ColbyCheeZe Gaming Podcast, your source for League of Legends and other gaming news, updates, and discussions.
Hey, what's up guys? ColbyCheeZe here for another gaming podcast. Today is August 7th, 2011, and wow, so much cool information has been released over the past week, and I'm just excited to talk about it. This week I've got lots of League of Legends news, Diablo 3 announcements, and even a bunch of free-to-play games announcements that I think you guys will be interested in hearing about as well. Let's just jump right on into it. If you want to check out my topic list or jump to something specific, you've got the description down below with the timestamps and links there. But if not, then let's get started. So anyways, why not just first start off by talking about the big League of Legends news. So there was a lot of hype building up to a big announcement that everyone was waiting for, and apparently it was this new game mode and map that Riot is releasing called Dominion for League of Legends. Wow, so this looks pretty awesome. I've actually got quite a bit of detail and information on this, so I just wanted to kind of talk about that and give you guys my thoughts and how I think this game map is going to turn out. It actually looks really fun, and I'm pretty damn excited to try it out. I don't know when it's going to be playable, but I hope very soon, because I'm definitely looking forward to it. And you know, we all hate the whole when's it coming out? Soon, TM. Of course, we all know now that Magma Chamber is now shelved and no longer going to be released, but I guess it is kind of cool that they are now going to release this new game mode. A lot of people have been asking for like a new map, and they kind of over-delivered by not only giving us a new map, but an entirely new game mode. I honestly don't think I would have enjoyed a new map. We all have Twisted Treeland, but nobody plays that because, you know, it's not nearly as fun as Summoner's Rift, the 5v5. I mean, that's where all the competitive stuff is at. So what they've done here with this Dominion map is they've created another game mode altogether that is not going to take away from Summoner's Rift at all. It's not going to try and be another tourney map. It's just another like really fun thing to play, and I'm guessing this is going to just be something you go play on the side instead of Summoner's Rift every once in a while, but not in replacement of it. So, okay, so just going through the points of Dominion map, there's going to be, it's like a giant circle map, and there's going to be 5 different capture points that you can capture, and that's going to be, just if you've played, Battlefield or games like that, you have to go up and you have to channel it, and you can't attack or move while you're channeling. Somebody can interrupt you by attacking you, so you have to make sure that you can capture that quickly before somebody's able to get you. Each team has a Nexus as usual. Each Nexus has 500 hit points. You can't actually directly attack the Nexus. You have to capture these points, and basically it's going to be like the World of Warcraft Alterac Valley, or not Alterac Valley, but I think that's what it's called, where you have to go capture the farm and the lumber mill, and basically the more capture points you have, the more points that you get above your opponent. So that's kind of how this map's going to work out, and I think that's going to be really cool. So the center of the map is going to have these power-ups, and they're going to be called like greater relics, and they're going to have things like speed boosts and things like that. And there's going to be some points really far away on the outside of the map. They're going to have some regeneration boosts. And then each player on the map is actually going to start out at level 3, and you start off with about 1,375 gold. The cool thing is that you actually get an immense amount of gold. So gold per 5 items are not going to be necessarily as useful in this game mode, just because you just get a waterfall of gold just coming in quickly. The matches are actually only supposed to last around 20 minutes, and that's awesome. I love that, because you can just jump in really quick, and you know ahead of time that the matches are not going to take a long time at all, and you don't have to worry about getting stuck into a game for 50 minutes at a time or something like that. And not only do you get higher gold, you also level up much quicker as well. Anyhow, there's not going to be any jungle in this game, but there are going to be some bushes that you can hide around in, and that's going to make it more based around running through the map and trying to capture these points. It's going to be very frantic from what I hear of people who have tested the game mode out. There's not going to be a whole lot of game fights. A lot of times it's going to be like 1v3 fights, because you're going to be trying to capture a point, and three people are going to try and come stop you, or maybe they're all trying to capture a point, and you're just going to run up and try and hit them and make it take longer for them to capture it. I don't really know how the meta is going to turn out in this, but I can imagine that there are going to be some champions which will really excel, like Lux, who can shoot people from long range and hit multiple people with her laser, and she can stop people from capturing those points. Or people like Singed, who are just extremely difficult to kill, and he can just kind of run through with his poison, stop you from capturing a point, and just run away untouched. Things like that I can only imagine are going to be just awesome. Some other things about this is that they are making a few tweaks to balance in this game mode, such as magic and armor resistances are actually being toned down quite a bit in this mode, since it is going to be a lot more powerful to have those type of resistances. Some items are also being changed, such as Banshee's Veil is now being changed to an item which will reduce a certain amount of magic damage rather than block a spell, since that would be kind of OP in a small fight situation. Also, Madreds are being changed quite a bit. Those are actually being just disabled and replaced with another item altogether with the same core item approach to build them. They're just replacing them. There's also going to be some things such as a new item called the Ionic Spark. It adds health and attack speed. All kinds of different cool stuff. There's one that has a proc that does chain lightning attack to a few nearby enemies, so that'll be a cool item to get in order to stop a few people from capturing a point and do some AoE damage to them. There's another one that, well, not another one, but there's a new thing they're adding, which is the summoner spells. They're taking away teleport and fortify, and instead what they're doing is they're replacing that with the old promote summoner spell. If you don't remember what promote did, it was an old spell that would actually upgrade one of your minions to kind of a super minion that had an AoE buff for anyone around them and would take a lot of hits and do extra damage. It was a really cool way to push towers, but it was really OP in Summoner's Rift because you could have 5 people with a promote and you just promote all 5 minions in your wave and just push a tower down. Is ridiculous. So anyways, that's going to be put into this new game mode. And then there's also another one called Upgrade, or sorry, not Upgrade, but Garrison, and it'll buff your team's towers or nerf the enemy team's towers. You can kind of choose which one. So that's kind of neat. There's also going to be these little quests that will pop up during the match, and if you I don't know what that really consists of, but if you complete the quest, then you'll be able to do bonus damage to the enemy nexus. That's kind of cool. There's going to be a lot of emphasis on just kind of like personal scores over team scores. However, there's also an emphasis on doing team objectives rather than just racking up kills. Also, another thing to note is that there's not going to be like a ladder for the Dominion mode. This is more of just a fun game mode. There's not going to be any competitive scene in it, at least from the game standpoint. I'm sure that you can have tournaments and stuff for Dominion, but there's not going to be an actual ladder where you can go and gain and lose elo in for the Dominion mode. And I think that's just so that League of Legends can stay as they just want to keep the tournament scene focused around Summoner's Rift, and that's what they want to balance their actual competitive play around, and not try and balance their character designs around how good they are on Dominion. And that makes sense to me overall, because you can't really balance for Dominion your champions. You can't really balance them for Dominion, because then you're going to hurt some aspect of what happens in Summoner Rift. That does make a lot of sense to me, to be honest. A few more things are that it does take about 4 to 10 seconds to capture a point, and that depends on how many people, or how many allies are around to help you capture it. And pretty much that's the information that we have on Dominion. So hopefully that kind of gives you guys some headway if you didn't already know about that sort of thing. And I'm kind of excited to see it. They're going to be showing off Dominion at Gamescom and at PAX. So those 2 events are going to be towards the end of this month in August. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on Dominion as more information is released and whatnot. So for now, I wanted to go over this really awesome video that was just came out this week, and it's already got tons of views. So if you haven't seen it, then you're definitely missing out. But hey guys, I've got it here for you. But this is awesome. I've actually thought about this in my head, a few times, like what would be a really awesome group of champions to play together that would be just hilarious. And these guys actually put together a compilation of different games that they did. They went in together as a team and they played these different champions. They had champions with like all globals, or all champions that could jump across at you, or all champions that had traps. It's just a hilarious compilation video. So check this one out. They've got several different videos, or not videos, but several different comps that you can watch. And it's definitely amazing. They got some good music on that channel. For sure, check this one out. So I was looking at the new champion that's going to come out this week, Skarner, and man, he looks sick. He looks so cool to play. I cannot wait. And his abilities, I mean, they actually sound kind of borderline OP. Obviously, you can't really judge it until you actually start playing the champion and you see the numbers and you see the cooldowns and that sort of thing. However, my goodness, okay, so first off, he does, and like it seems like he does quite a bit of AoE. So his Q, I'm guessing that's kind of a short range AoE, but the way it works is the more times you use it, the stronger you get, basically because after you use it, you give yourself a buff where if you use that ability again, you'll actually do extra damage that next time. Not only that, but he's got a passive, just his actual passive, that every time he auto attacks, he actually reduces his cooldowns by 1 second. So he can just keep on boom, 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 crystal slash, keep on attacking you, doing extra, more damage. Okay, that's just one ability. His next one is called Crystalline Exoskeleton, and that's actually a self-buff shield, which not only shields him, but while that shield persists, he gets movement speed and attack speed. Both of those are increased. So he's got a steroid plus a shield in one ability. Whoa. Okay, next one he's got is Fracture. Skarner's going to summon a blast of crystalline energy and it deals damage to enemies struck and it's going to mark them. It sounds kind of like Leona's ability. Of course, looking at the screenshot also, it looks kind of like it's going to be like a line skill shot type of ability. Anyways, what it does is it marks them, and if any further damage is done to them by you, not by the enemy champion, then you pop that and you'll actually heal yourself. It doesn't do, well actually it does do further damage as well. So it's kind of like an improved Leona ability, which you don't have to wait for your ally to pop it. You can pop it yourself and do that damage. What? Yeah, that's cool. Alright. Then Impale is his ultimate, which Skarner suppresses an enemy. So, okay, so you give him kind of a Malzahar ultimate, but on top of that, he can actually drag that enemy around kind of like as if it was a Rammus taunt, and that is freaking crazy. And then when the effect ends, Skarner's target will be dealt additional damage. Oh, wow. Okay, so I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if it's going to last as long as a Rammus taunt would last or anything like that, but either way, that is freaking sick. And it's not just a taunt, it's like literally a suppress. Well, they do nothing while they are stuck in that. Awesome. Okay, cool. Definitely looking forward to this champion. I'm going to be trying it out, and I'll give you guys impressions of that throughout this coming week, of course, as always. So I got some information on the dates of more of the IEM events, and I'll put that link in the description below. But essentially, we've got Gamescom, which is coming up here in a couple days in August, of course. So that's the one everyone pretty much knows about. That's the one that's going to be done in Germany. And there's actually 2 more that have already been announced. There's one in China, and that's for the Andy.com and Games event. That one's going to be in October, like 1st through the 5th. And then there's another one in New York, for Comic-Con. So at the Comic-Con event, they're going to have an IEM, and that one's actually going to have, StarCraft 2, League of Legends, Counter-Strike even as well. So that's going to be awesome. And there's after that, there's going to be 3 more events, which are in Europe, South America, and then just the World IEM tournament, which have not, those last 3 haven't been announced yet. However, you can check out the link below and just kind of keep track of those. If you're into the competitive scene at all of League of Legends, then be sure to check that out because the IEM is such a huge event for competitive sports altogether, and that's awesome. So looking forward to that, and of course League of Legends is going to be the main event in those as well. I don't have any new songs for you guys to check out this week. However, I do have some news for some people who have done League of Legends songs in the past. If you remember that song, D-Town, put some words up, then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But these guys are actually releasing an entire League of Legends album, actually, I think like tomorrow, in fact. So definitely check that out. It's going to be awesome. I know that they're getting some of their album cover art done by none other than Control-Alt-Delete. Pretty cool stuff, and for League of Legends, I think that's awesome that somebody's actually released an entire album of songs about this game. So be sure to check that out. These guys are great. I love that song. It was pretty big song. It was for the last Summoner Academy, or not Academy, sorry, the last Summoner contest for the songs. I know there's a current song contest going on right now, so we're probably going to see even more awesome songs come out of that. But anyhow, good stuff. Other than that, I know that I will be releasing my the videos from the Go for LOL July finals that I casted with Guardsman Bob. Of course, unfortunately, this has got to be the worst timing, but for some reason I forgot to record my microphone in those commentaries. That sucks, but hopefully to make up for it to you guys, I have some more League of Legends content that I am releasing. I know I've been doing a lot of Let's Play videos, but those were really easy. I actually did all of those in one sitting, and I've just been releasing them slowly throughout the week. So don't think that I'm just playing all these other games and not doing League of Legends. I have actually been working on League of Legends on the side. I have some cool stuff coming up. I've got like an Orianna guide. I have plans for a new Summoner Academy, and I'll definitely try and get out some more solo queue commentaries for you guys since you have been enjoying those. But if you want to see anything else that I haven't been putting out a lot, just let me know. And of course, I'm always looking at your comments. I pretty much read everything. It's impossible for me to respond to everybody as I get hundreds and hundreds of comments across all my videos every single day. But I try and look at all the comments, at least from my most recent videos, pretty religiously, and I'll respond when I can. Either way, keep on sending those comments, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But let's move on. I have a lot of really cool announcements about Diablo 3. There was a big, just bunch of announcements for that game. A lot of really awesome stuff and some things that I'm actually really looking forward to, and also a lot of controversy to go along with that. So let's just discuss that and kind of, you can get my opinion on what I think about the whole thing. So one of the first ones is that they actually announced they're going to be adding a pretty advanced auction house system into Diablo 3. And what they're going to be doing is actually allowing you to spend real world money to buy items off of the auction house. Alright, this got a whole lot of controversy because people are saying, oh, this is going to just ruin the economy in Diablo 3, and only the people that spends the most money are going to have the best stuff, blah, 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 etc. And there's a lot of different things about it. But let me just talk about the way it's going to work first off, and I'll give you why I think it's actually a pretty, cool idea. Okay, so first off, they are going to allow you to post up items. And they're going to take just a flat fee, the same fee no matter if you post it up for like $200 or $1. They're probably going to charge you, maybe $1, $2. I don't know what it's going to be, but they're going to charge you a little bit for each transaction. And what this does is it's going to eliminate people just posting up a bunch of junk crap for a couple of cents and spamming the auction house with that, at least on the real world currency side of things. Okay? And then you can also, of course, still put up items for regular in-game gold. That doesn't matter. It just allows you to have the option to sell things for real money as well. This is kind of cool because if you guys know anything about the Diablo 2 scene and the way it worked, people would always sell stuff. I mean, you had people always running through and doing dungeons and selling items online and things like that. So it sounds like what they've done is they said, look, we know that people are going to sell items and there's going to be gold buying websites and all this crap on Diablo 3. So why not just allow that to happen and not fight against the system, not fight against what's going to happen regardless, and let's just capitalize on that ourselves. So if you ask me, that makes sense. It's kind of like saying, hey guys, let's just create our own app store, and basically, that's what it is. I actually knew I knew a friend that in high school she had a bunch of like Pendo bots going on in Diablo 2, and she actually paid her she paid most of her college just by playing Diablo 2. She saved up enough money through her botting experiences to pay for college. That's ridiculous, right? That's awesome. In fact, I even remember playing the game. I didn't ever buy it or anything like that, but I played the game quite a lot in high school, and I actually told my teachers I was able to get into the work program, and I told them I had like an online business, and I actually just played Diablo 2 and sold items. I didn't even make that much money. I made maybe like, a couple $100s every once in a while, because I would sell a few good items that I found. But that's awesome, right? I think it's cool that they're allowing you to do that in a legit way. So pretty neat. You can make some money playing Diablo 2 or Diablo 3. Of course, yes, there's going to be those people who try and set up bots and make it a little bit unfair for other people, and maybe it will mess up the economy. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully Blizzard has some plans in place to try and kind of block the botting and things like that. We'll see how it goes. All they really need to do is just add captchas to the game every once in a while. I've seen some massive online games where, every once in a while you have to type in a captcha and then your bot will keep going. I don't know if that's really going to stop bots. I mean, technically you can just have a bot going and then you have someone sit there and type in captures every once in a while. I don't know. I don't know how you get around that system. But either way, I'm sure that it's going to be fun, and for most people playing the game, they'll enjoy it. Anyhow, moving on, there's some other stuff. So another thing that got a lot of controversy about Diablo 3 is that it's going to require an always online connection. And a lot of people are really complaining about that. They're like, what? Why do we always have to have an online connection? Okay, honestly, most games nowadays that are played online require an online connection. I mean, you play any MMO, you're going to have to be always online. I think a lot of people were upset about this just because the old Diablo 2 allowed you to create an offline character, and people are like, oh, you know, what if I'm flying on an airplane and I want to play a Diablo 3 or something like that. Honestly, I think this is just, I don't care at all. Like, I'm probably expecting to be online always. Diablo 2 is just more fun online, and here's the thing, you're not being forced to play with other people if you're online. It just means that you have to have an always online connection. It's like you can go play StarCraft 2 on Battle.net and play by yourself and never play with other people. You can just play custom games that are, you know, downloadable, that are single player. It's fine. I think that the controversy around that is just a lot of people complaining. I mean, maybe you have a different opinion or something like that, but that's just what I think. It's still going to be a super popular game, and I really doubt it's going to hurt their sales of the game, and it's not going to hurt the experience of that many people. There's probably a few people that speak really loud about that, but overall, I'm sure that the majority of people don't really care that they always have to be online, because most people are going to want to play this game online with their friends, and that's just saying most people. I know there's going to be some people who don't feel that way, but that's just the way I feel. Final thing I want to talk about in Diablo 3 is they've actually decided to ditch the skill point system. And so let me explain to you what that was in case you don't remember. In Diablo 2, there were 3 different tabs for each character of skill abilities that you can go down. And you can think of it similar to the masteries that World of Warcraft has, or something like that. So, but the skills were actually the abilities that you would learn. So if you were a sorceress, you would have a lightning tree, a fire tree, and an ice tree. And at level 1, you would have your ice bolt, your fire bolt, and like chain lightning, or not chain lightning, but like some kind of little shock lightning thing that shoots out. And as you level up, you would add more points to abilities. Of course, at level, lower levels, you could only add them to those lower level abilities, and you can't unlock those higher abilities until like level 6, level 10, level 12, things like that. Alright, so what would happen is later on in the game, if you put a lot of points into those early abilities, you would basically not have those extra points to add into your skills, so your later skills would actually be a lot weaker. What ended up happening was people who actually wanted to make a good character late game would have to save all their abilities. Basically, you would like put 1 point into all the lower level abilities, and you would be really weak leveling up for the most part, all the way up until you got higher level, and you were able to, maybe you'd have like 20 points saved up by the time you get to level 30, 35 or something like that, and you would just slowly start putting those points into the higher level abilities as you leveled up. So that's kind of what ended up happening with that. What they're doing now is, instead of that, they're actually going to take the entire skill point system out, and now they allow you to actually have up to 6 abilities on your action bar at a time, but there may be a lot more abilities to use. And so now you actually have to choose one of those. You have to choose which abilities you're going to use, and you can upgrade those abilities via like a rune system, which will customize the abilities, and that's how it's going to work. And rather than just putting points in as you level up, and they thought that system is going to be a lot better. If you ask me, that sounds pretty good too. It's actually going to eliminate all of that guesswork with, oh, what do I need to do my abilities in? And you don't have to go look up online what's the best build. You just play what you want to have fun with, and you can switch those abilities in and out and enjoy yourself doing it that way. And that's going to allow quite a bit of customization. So thumbs up on that one. I actually like that new system. I'm looking forward to trying it out when that beta starts, which from what I hear is pretty soon. Anyhow, moving on. So there was this really interesting video that came out not too long ago by these guys calling themselves Euclidean Technology, and so a lot of people were saying, oh, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. And what it is this video that these guys are actually claiming they've revolutionized the graphics in gaming industry, and that right now modern technology uses some sort of basically they use polygons in order to render the graphics in their games. And games, of course, have a polygon budget because the games, if you add too many polygons, then it requires a ton of processing power, and games can't handle that in a real-time environment. What they've claimed to be able to do is actually, rather than render in these polygons, they render models via tiny little atoms, so they can give you the most unlimited amount of detail as possible in your graphics, and that they can run it in like an unlimited quantity, so it won't bog down or slow down the game or the computer when you're running this. So I know there's a big post from Not saying, oh, that's just not possible. There's no way you can do something like that. But who knows, man? If this is true, this could be a huge thing for gaming. We can see some amazing new environments come out from artists. And if it runs as smooth as they say it does, then that's going to be really exciting to check out. What do you guys think? Is this something that is a hoax, or do you think it's something that's going to just really change the way video games are going to look going forward in the future, as well as the way computer graphics in general are used across all applications? But regardless of what we think, we're still going to have to wait a couple of months for them to finish up their project, and we'll find out if it's a hoax or if it's the real deal. So I have a bunch of free-to-play news that has been coming out. I'm going to be trying out a lot of these games as well. But for now, some of the ones that I'm actually looking forward to and I've been watching have a couple of announcements being put out. And I think a lot of you may have heard of this, or, because people like Elements has been really adamant talking about it and things like that. But it looks like a really cool game. It's called Firefall, and they've actually released some info about the beta and when it's going to be playable and things like that. And apparently they're not going to do a standard beta system where you do closed beta, open beta, and then released. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to start it off like Gmail's invite system, where they're going to invite a certain amount of people to try out the initial features, and those people will start to get a couple of invite codes, and they can start inviting people into the game. And eventually, as the game kind of progresses further and further, they're just going to start letting more people into the game until they make it completely public to everybody. And they say it's just going to be an ongoing process as they continue to improve on the game and add new things to the game. I actually like this model. That's very intelligent. Gmail model was perfect. I specifically remember that, and Google still does that, just like with Google Plus. So I'm looking forward to checking out how that works out. But the info is that they're actually going to have the game playable after PAX, which is pretty much the end of this month. So if you guys have been watching Firefall and you're looking forward to that, then you've got some good stuff coming after PAX. Also, another game that looks similar to TF2 in the art style and maybe a little bit in the play style is a game called Brawl Busters. This one was just kind of released, or not released, but it was announced that it's going to be going to beta very soon, and I'm super excited to check this one out. It looks awesome, and they've got these different classes you can pick. One that's kind of like, they're all kind of sports, or like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, one of them has this baseball bat, and she shoots out these little homing baseballs, and there's another guy who runs around and beats you up with a football, and one guy's got like a guitar he does some crazy stuff with. Another dude's a boxer, and he can like uppercut you and do some crazy things. And so I don't know, it looks like a really weird character concept, but in a cool way that I would actually really like to play. So really soon I'll have some gameplay footage of this for you guys to check out, most definitely. But other than that, if you guys need some recommendations on some games to check out, a few games that I played recently have been Dragon Nest. You've probably seen my Let's Plays of those on my channel recently. Another one, if you're looking for less of like a beat 'em up and more of a World of Warcraft style MMO, you can check out Eden Eternal. That's one that is really cool. You can multi-class in that game. You can play a warrior, a cleric, a mage, and a hunter all in the same character. Of course, you're gonna have to level up the classes separately from your actual character, so it's kind of cool. Have a game review on that as well. And then another one, if you just want a really cool like beat 'em up style game that's more akin to old school beat 'em ups, but with new style, anime and awesome graphics and cool effects that you can play online with friends and level up and do things like that, then check out a game called Rusty Hearts. I've actually done one Let's Play on that already. Maybe I'll do a couple more here later and show off the PvP, which is amazing. And other than that, guys, I enjoyed the podcast this week. Hope you did as well. And I definitely look forward to seeing all the comments. I love seeing all the feedback on my stuff. And I appreciate everybody watching this stuff. If you guys want to see more, be sure to let me know by pushing that thumbs up button. It really helps. Push it on your favorites. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'll see you around for the next one. This is ColbyCheeZe. Peace out.